7:15. Good to have you with us this Wednesday morning. Let's talk Eskom, let's talk money, let's talk unions. Eskom proposing a wage hike of 4.5%, but it has been rejected by the union NUMSA. It was a slight increase from the original offer of 3.75%, which obviously the unions were unhappy with. The embattled power utilities have been struggling to keep our lights on, and they've been relying on government bailouts. So the questions, of course, has to be, where does Eskom get the money? The wage negotiations taking place at a time when experts have been warning of a potential grid collapse or possible higher stages of blackouts. Let's bring into the conversation now. It is Olehile Kgware from NUM this morning, who's part of these discussions, in fact leading the discussions. Olehile, good morning to you. I appreciate your time. Why are we rejecting 4.5%? Why a rejection of the latest offer?
4.5% is still below inflation rate, and look, our members, employees at Eskom cannot provide for their families with 4.5 increase.
Help me understand the maths that gets worked out here. I'll tell you why, because it's very important to understand, for example, the 18.65% tariff increase. We know that Eskom's getting a government bailout as well. So you believe, as a union, that Eskom is more than capable of giving into the demands of a much higher wage increase. You think they do have the money?
Look, yes, they should have the money. They should have the money because of the tariffs, wherein employees are also included. Labor is part of the planning on the NUMSA and the tariffs increase. You can't plan an entity like Eskom and not include cost for labor. So yes, indeed, they should be in a position to give employees a reasonable wage increase.
And let's talk about that reasonable wage increase, because you make a good point, Olehile, as well, that the cost of living has gone up. Fuel is going up, food is going up, the electricity is going up, ironically, for Eskom workers as well when they do have power. What is the demand from NUM, or what's the demand from the collective bargaining?
Look, we are sitting at a point where we say, give us 11%. We are amenable. We are still ready to be persuaded. Otherwise, with Eskom, putting facts and reasons on the table. However, we are saying whatever we may discuss with Eskom, it can't be anything less than inflation rate.
And what's their response been to that when you say that this is not even a living wage? Because the math just doesn't work out. Even at 4.5%, it's not going to cover the increased costs of everyday living. What's their reaction to you when you put that offer forward of 7%?
Look, we're still engaging with Eskom. Eskom is coming back to respond to that today morning. We'll hear what Eskom says today, and we hope that Eskom is able to table something that we can be able to take back to our members so that they be able to work without concerns.
I remember a couple of years ago that there was issues around wage negotiations. Has Eskom dealt with the backdated issues of wages from previous years? Because after a while, Olehile, I get the sense that these wage negotiations get rolled over to the next year. It's difficult to keep track. Has Eskom ever given you, as the unions, what you're demanding and what you need to survive?
No, look, it hasn't, because, look, we still have the apartheid wage gap issues. We still have people who are doing the same job but not getting the same pay. So we've got quite a range number of issues that are of the previous wage negotiations that we really are saying this time Eskom must respond to, so that we close the gap.
What is the risk of a strike action, if demands are not met?
Look, we can't remember we are an essential service entity at Eskom, so Eskom workers are not going to strike by law. However, we cannot dictate. We don't know. Yesterday, we had a situation where employees at Eskom felt that essential service workers or not, they are taking it to the street because the cost of living is too high and they can no longer take it anymore. So we are hopeful that Eskom puts something on the table to help us mitigate the possibility of such eventualities.
So we're not ruling it out completely, but it sounds like it might be a last resort, but not where NUM wants to go this morning. Olehile Kgware, thank you very much indeed. Apologies for the slight breakup in connection. I'm sure you understand. Anyone who's used Zoom during blackouts, you can understand just how difficult it is. But I'm glad we were able to get the crux of where NUM is on this. They are rejecting that latest wage offer from Eskom. They're demanding at least 7% to make it a livable wage. They're currently calling it a poverty wage.